Good morning, traders. John from Crypto Candlestick Trading. Just doing an update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Here we have got Bitcoin on the daily chart. What I want to do is go through and have a look at the weekly chart first before we go to any daily. I'll just get rid of the drawings that I got on here. And we'll go to the weekly chart and just have a bit of a look. And as we can see here, we've broken down below major moving averages and we've started, we've had a reversal. We've turned up, massive big candle, smaller candle again. Okay volume, mediocre volume, small volume as it's rise, and now we have a red candle, which is kind of showing indecision. It's a little bit indecisive at this stage here, which is kind of like what I was expecting. We as soon as we get a major moving average, what we should be doing is looking for, well, is it going to be a continuation or is it going to be a reversal? So at this stage here, this is showing signs of reversal. We've got a decline in volume on the rise, as we're approaching it, and we've got smaller candles as we get there too. This is classic sort of reversal material. Will it happen? Will it happen and become reversal? We don't know. If we have a look here, like you can see these green candles here, it's a larger one. It's about the same size. A smaller one again. That's probably a little bit bigger, but the decline started here. But in general, what we can see is usually what happens when these approach like a major resistance or support area or a trend line or a major moving average, and it's showing hesitation on the way, we'll see larger candles turn to smaller candles and big volume turn to smaller volume. That's a good indication to say that there's nowhere near as much strength or people wanting to get committed into this market at these highs. So we'll just have to wait and see. At the moment, we've got a red candle, on the weekly chart, but we've got major resistance at these areas. That's why we've got the indecisiveness with these candles. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens here on Monday morning at 10 o'clock. This could hang around here for weeks. This could break through and then fail. This could could do anything. So we're just gonna have to play the game the way it is. But playing end of candle data at this stage here would be a good idea. So that's the weekly chart. I'll just go through the weekly chart on a few of these, and then we'll go through on the daily chart. And so this one here, I don't know why I got this one at the top. I think I was liking it on the daily chart actually. Breaking below the 50, rejection at the 50, which is, this is so classic. This happens all the time. I'm always up here looking for these kind of areas here to go short for this leg. And, here we're broken through the 50, pull back, anyway. Danny, I can just get carried away with this stuff. Here we are, we've got increase in volume and we've got coming out of the lows, which is pretty good, but there's, we're getting engulfing there. I would rather engulf in closing below the, above the 9. That to me is, that's when I start getting committed. This sort of thing here is good, but I want support, to be backing this up before I get in. And I do like closing above the 9 before I get in too, to be honest. One thing I've found with Bitcoin, like over the years of trading the crypto markets, is that I find that Litecoin, Monero, like the ones that have been around here for a long, long time, like Litecoin, Monero, Dash. Is there any others? Bitcoin Gold, there's a few of these. EOS, EOS is in there too. Neo is in there. I'll take Neo up there as well. So some of these ones, I'll just go through them now so we can kind of have a look. But, what I actually find with a lot of these old cryptos that have been in there a long time, when they start to move, sometimes they get itchy feet and they move a little bit before Bitcoin. And, so I'm always watching to see what Litecoin and Monero and these ones here like Dash and Neo and, EOS and those kind of old ones that have been in the market for a long, long time. I want to see where they're going, like when Bitcoin looks like it's going to be breaking out. And, this is one of the ones that I'm looking at now. So, but we can see very clearly here, bounce on support, 200, bouncing on support, breakthrough, and we've come up and we've got resistance at the 200 now. Well, we don't have resistance yet, but, this is a resistance line, the 200. So, we can see here support, breakthrough, resistance at that same line. So usually that, we see a decline in volume, which is exactly what we're seeing here. A decline in volume. Could we get a reversal here to go down, or could we get continuation? We'll just have to wait and see what happens here. But, by the way Bitcoin's looking, I want to see Bitcoin do some moves first before I start getting into any of these. But, as I said, Bitcoin could go sideways for ages, and these could actually take off and start running. So if I get a good, a good indication above the 200 and maybe a pullback, and on the daily it's looking good, I'll probably be looking for entries there. But anyway, you'll know about it. I'll be making videos on it. And here we go, Monero on the weekly chart again. So here we are, we're broken through and we've got 30% sold off, indecision, and then we've got like a rocket booster, almost kind of thing. And then we've started selling off again, this week here. So we'll just have to wait and see. So indecisive above all the major moving averages. But here we've got like, this is kind of ugly sort of trading. It's not decisive trading this here. And even when we're broken above the major moving averages, that's not decisive trading. I do like the volume accumulation that's come in here, but I don't like this indecisive trading at all. Dash, let's have a look at Dash. And so here we are. So we've got a major, look at that. We've got a major support line there that's come through, and we're broken through that. And now we've come up and we're broken above the 50, and we've got that previous support becomes new resistance. And so we're under that new resistance here with Dash. So that's only from there over to here. Let's just have a look, so that to me kind of stands out. And I think there's a lot of people watching that line right there. Let's just have a look a little bit further down and see if, yep, even that there. Yep, we can kind of see what's going on here, yep, we've gone down, but now we are kind of closing, well, we haven't closed above the 50 yet. We'll just have to wait and see what happens there. But Dash, yeah, we can probably keep an eye on Dash, I'd say. I want to have a look at it from the daily charts, but I'm still very wary about Bitcoin being under that 200, because as soon as Bitcoin tanks, everything else will tank. Bitcoin gold, on the weekly chart, there's nothing here for us. Let's have a look for EOS. EOS, look at that, same again, nothing here for us. But let's have a look at EOS on the daily chart. Open it right up, and we'll have a look. Okay, so here on EOS, we can see here that, we've broken down and come up and got an engulfing there, above the 2 moving averages now, not above the 50, but we are now. And then we come back down, straight back on the 50. Beautiful. Look at that massive indecision at the 200. Massive indecision. I'm just going to get rid of some of those drawings there. Actually, I'll get rid of those drawings. Here, so broken the 50, pulled back to the 50, up to the 200, and now we're indecisive. But look at this, massive indecision. But we've got an engulfing there, and we've come up, and we're going to actually, it's not quite an engulfing there. And we've come up, broken the top, and then we've got a massive engulfing. So this got rejected. It made the new high, and then got massively, rejected. So here we've got wicks everywhere. So this is massive indecision here on the daily chart. I'll just go back through these ones here on the daily chart, just so we can get a quick look and see where we're at. So on the weekly chart, we can kind of say that, it's not a very favorable positive market on the weekly chart. It looks okay, but it's definitely not a buy. For me on the weekly chart, it's not a buy. So looking at this here, on the daily chart, Bitcoin on the daily, so we know that there's major resistance just above us, and we've come up. Let's just have a look here. One thing I did like about Bitcoin is the volume. Like here there wasn't as much volume accumulation. Over here there's a lot more volume accumulation. So I do like this, and I was kind of like looking for the entry and stuff. Like here we've got an increase in buying volume, which is good, but we're still under the major moving averages. A pullback, and we've got a bit of a sell-off, an attempt by the sellers. And then nothing happened. Like it still stayed above the major moving averages. It was a red day, which is good. And then here, this should have been our entry candle, but I don't like that candle. For me, this is indecision, and I've bought these before. And often when I've bought these, they've gone up and then they've tanked, pretty much straight away. So this here is a great setup, but the only thing that failed this setup is this candle here was the one that told us not to get in. But in saying that, one thing I have found as well is that this follow-through candle can happen 2 or 3 candles later. And so, if I was to look at the candle that it actually probably happened on, it was probably this one here. But then it's lacking in volume. So this whole thing was reasonably confusing for me right from the start. Like I want something that's convincing, like something that the big money is looking at and going, yep, bang, I'm on it. And we've got to think there's thousands and thousands of banking institutions and lending institutions and brokerage houses and all that sort of stuff that have massive money in the markets, institutional money in the markets. And so, there's I couldn't imagine there will be a lot of institutional buyers in around, it's usually a lot more convincing coming out of these lows here. And here it wasn't very convincing coming out to here. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens here. I want something convincing. If it's going to be to the south side, I could probably even go short, break above these major moving averages on the weekly, and then see what the daily is looking at from there. Go and get some entries on the daily from there. Right, we'll have a look at a few more on the daily chart. And having a look here, look, this is why I had ANKR at the top, because I do like this engulfing that's turning up now. That should be in about 5 minutes and 20 seconds. That should be turning up. So, but I don't like where the market is. Litecoin. So we know Litecoin is at. Let's just have a look back on the weekly chart and see exactly where. So here we are at the 200 with Litecoin. So support, breakthrough, resistance. So that's where we're at with Litecoin. Let's have a look again on the daily chart. So on the daily chart, it doesn't look too bad. Here we've got some good accumulation down from these lows when we're broken out. Here the same again, but this is big money. This is big money all over the. So what big money will do, they will know the stop loss is below here. So what they will do, and we can see quite clearly that. Let's just have a look at that low. that low right there. This one here was the lowest low, and big money took it down to pick up everyone else's stop losses from down here, so they could get cheap cryptos. So, you know, for this run here, they wanted all the cheap crypto that they could get. They don't care whether you hold. Well, actually, they do care that they don't want you to hold it. So if you have stop losses down here and you're ready to give up your crypto for the prices down here, big money will come down and give you those prices for it before they head off and take up to here. So what I want to do, like, I want to see tight trading. I want to see a decline, like a significant decline. And then I want to see engulfing closing above, you know, and just pick those up from there. And also new highs as well. So anyway, kind of know what where I'm looking at. So here, scrappy, indecisive, shooting star, daily chart, Monero, massive engulfing, beautiful looking doji, engulfing, scrappy, but closing below 2 moving averages. Yep, not liking that on the daily chart, that's for sure. And here we are with Dash. You know, we've had a nice little spike there. We've got declining volume on the rise. Let's just have a look at that on the weekly chart again. Yeah, well, it's broken through the 50, but this is almost looking like exuberance with no volume. And we are in the overbought area. But anyway, that could take off. You know, we can't predict what the market's going to do. We just have to do what the candles and charts are telling us at the time. And at the moment, you know, looking at Bitcoin, I don't like that scrappiness on the daily chart, and I don't like where it is on the weekly chart. You know, to me, that just, you know, we've had a massive big push, which is great, but I don't think this is, you know, I just feel you know, it's going to be more indecisive trading before we actually see a real break. But anyway, that's not for me to decide. We'll just have to wait and see what the candles tell us to do. Here we are with EOS, and this is on the weekly chart. Like, have a look at EOS on the weekly chart, then have a look at the daily chart. I know that was, so here we are. You know, EOS has done quite, you know, it's only gone from 80 cents to $1.10. So, you know, that's kind of, it hasn't really done too much, to be honest. Neo. So having a look at Neo, I did like this one here coming out, but I didn't like the second one there. It sold off more than 50%, and then we've got that one there. So let's have a look at Neo on the weekly chart as well. Yep, you know, actually Neo doesn't look too bad. You know, could Neo get a crack to the 50? It could do. $9 to $11.50. Yeah. But still, I don't like trading very much when Bitcoin's in, you know, like where it's at doing its thing. So I'll just get rid of these drawings too. And here we are with DOT. You know, I do like DOT coming out of oversold. This on the weekly chart too. You know, that is not a reversal. That's not an engulfing pattern. This actually opened high. It's not a kicker signal either. So this is just an up day and a downtrend. And we've gone up, and we've got declining volume on the rise too. Even though we're coming out of oversold on both of those almost. Yep. You know, yeah, I'm just not totally convinced with the traders. Look at it. It's just, it's only okay. This is the one ASX that I was looking at before, and I was saying divergence. And so if we have a look at this one here, so here with the divergence, you know, we can see here that we've got a high with the stochastics and a lower high with the stochastics. So we can draw a line from a high down to the low. And then we've got a low here and a high here. So we've got amateur money coming in and pushing this market up, while there's actually the strength of the market is being declined. So, you know, like the real power money is actually being withdrawn, while the major, while amateur money is, you know, this push here and a sell-off, you know, so I know who's selling up here and I know who's buying. So you got amateurs that are buying, and then you got big money that's selling. And so I don't think big money's finished selling yet, even though there was a bit of accumulation here that took it up. But look at this here, big, you know, massive big candle, reversal. We'll just have to wait and see. You know, it's engulfing there. I'll open that up a little bit more. This to me looks like exuberance, you know, right from the start. Like, this is a 20% candle plus right from the start. I don't like it. Then we've got a reversal, and then we've got engulfing, you know. Nah. Anyway, traders, you know, I could just keep on going with this stuff here, but, you know, I think you kind of get the picture of what I'm looking at and what I'm talking about. You know, I would have loved to have been on these runs on the daily chart. And if we actually, even if we do have a look at Bitcoin here, you know, so there's nothing to say that we can't get on Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart, like when it breaks out of these lows, because, you know, there are some good entries down here that we could be looking at. So, you know, when we see Bitcoin go for a run, you know, down from these lows here, got high highs, high lows, and all of a sudden we're above the, you know, above the major moving averages. And, you know, we've got little spikes here that's looking pretty good. Another one there, another one there. This one opened, you know, closed higher, but, you know, it's a nice run there for the 4-hour chart. And so I think what we'll do next time is we'll be, you know, like, well, for me anyway, I'll be having a look at the 4-hour chart and going on that too. But also, traders, keep in mind that when Bitcoin breaks out and takes off above all the major moving averages, you know, it will be a lot safer to buy this, whether it's on the 4-hour chart, daily chart, or weekly chart. You know, it's simply because it'll be above all the major moving averages. And that's the best time to buy. When it's above everything, it's the best time to buy. When it's below a couple of things like the major moving averages with Bitcoin now, it's not the best time to buy. All right, traders. Anyway, I hope this has helped. If you have any questions with your charts, please let me know. And I'll talk to you again soon. See you.